Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey. Good morning. Um, it's about 11:46 a.m. It's Wednesday, December the 4th. I'm coming to do a little sit down with you guys because I know you guys have noticed that I haven't been back on YouTube in a minute since, like, I want to say going on like 2 weeks now, or we're probably at 2 weeks now. But I did, you know, actually this morning post a little post letting you guys know that my family and we lost a precious jewel. My granny, we lost her 2 days before Thanksgiving, so this was last Tuesday. It was unexpected, and that just took me out, y'all. It took me out. It just took me out. I'm gonna be strong on this camera, but at the end of the day, my granny is gone. My precious, precious, precious jewel is gone. You guys know how I feel and felt about my granny. Like I always say, that's my girl. Okay, my granny was my girl. My granny was my whole entire world. She is and will forever be my rock. And while I know, we all have to go someday, I just still wasn't ready. Now, granted, I am 45 years old, so I am a lot of bit selfish that I've had my grandma for this many years, and I'm not even her eldest grandchild. I have cousins, mine that are in their 50s, who, still also was blessed to have my grandma for that many years. My grandma passed at 87 years old. And one thing about her, she was a fighter. She's a strong fighter throughout her entire life. Very, very strong. That is where and who I get my strength from. It's my precious, precious granny. Unfortunately, I got a call on Tuesday morning at probably like 11:45 in the morning from one of my aunts who was there with her at her home. She was doing my grandma's care because, yes, though my grandma was 87, she was, still, a little feisty, meaning like she still had a little spunk to her. Yeah, she was 87. So, of course, she wasn't able to really do for herself anymore, and be mobile like she used to. You guys saw she walked with a walker and, things like that. But at the end of the day, my grandma was a very strong, strong, strong woman. Strong woman. So anyway, like I said, my aunt called me and she said, hey, the EMS is here. They're doing CPR on her. They're saying that she went into cardiac arrest. My aunt said that when she was doing her care for the morning, she was in her room, and my granny was in her bed, and she was doing her care for her, and she said my granny started to like shake a little, like she started to seize a little bit. And my aunt said, she was like, Ma, are you okay? You okay? And she said my grandma said something. And then next thing you know, she just watched her take her last breath. So she called the ambulance. They got there. They did what they were supposed to do. They worked on her for, as long as they could. They tried to bring her back. And unfortunately, they were unable to restart her heart. My grandma did not have health issues until as of lately. You guys know that she, I just in my last vlog, if you saw, she was in the hospital that weekend because she had a minor surgery, which was her intestines. She was kind of like vomiting, bring her food back up, and she basically couldn't keep nothing down. We thought it was just like a little stomach bug because, like I said, the most my grandma gets sick with is colds, like during the change of the seasons. That's it. She was like a really good, she was in pretty good shape for her age. Even when she went to her routine checkups, her doctors would tell her, for your age, you are good. Blood work always came back good. She had little minor hiccups, of course, that come with age here and there, but for the most part, she was good. So and she suffered with arthritis, you know, in her leg. So that's really what kept my grandma down. It's just her arthritis, but it wasn't like any major health issue. She just never had that, you know. Like I said, just recently, she started kind of, you know, dealing with little things. Like I was about to say, her intestines. We later found out the vomiting came from because we wound up putting her in the hospital. Then, well, getting her to the hospital because she kept vomiting. She couldn't hold anything now, and it lasted for a little bit longer than just a 24-hour stomach bug would last. So got her to the hospital. They wound up finding out that her intestines were twisted. So, and of course with that, with it normally, that's something with somebody that's a little bit younger, that's something that can be fixed on its own, you know. But given her age, it could cause major issues if that's not fixed surgically. Like they weren't guaranteed that for her it would fix on its own. So, and they didn't want to take any chances, you know, because, you know, circulation could have been cut off. It was just a lot of things that could happen given her age. So that's why the family agreed to go ahead and let them do a laparoscopic surgery, and that's why I considered it a minor surgery, because it was non-invasive at all. You know, it was just like getting a gallbladder removed or something like that, and they were able to untwist it, patch it back together, and she was fine. Even in the hospital, even though she was very, very weak because she hadn't eaten, you know, in the hospital you just get pumped with a bunch of fluids, and before that she wasn't eating because she couldn't keep nothing down. So she was weak as to that. But other than that, and her heart rate was astronomically high when we walked in there, and I had to ask the nurse at the time, where's her doctor? We need to get her some medication to bring that rate down, because he's like, oh, it's just a little excitement that she's seeing her family. No, that shit is not excitement. Okay, we weren't in there exciting her, you know. She was resting and her heart rate was off the charts. Okay, so yes, I made her nurse at that time get her doctor down there, and they put in an order for her PRN to bring her heart rate down, because why you just monitoring this? Like, you know, we're not gonna do that. So that was that in the hospital. But overall, she recovered well. She was obviously able to come home. She was not in any pain, any agony, any of that when she came home. She had been home for 2 weeks. Tuesday, like I said, that this Thanksgiving week made 2 weeks since she had already been home. And you know, she was, you know, again, she still didn't really have an appetite. She still was getting, you know, trying to regain her strength and stuff like that back. But nobody, at least I didn't, you know, I didn't expect her to take a turn for the worse out of nowhere. You know, I'm used to my granny bouncing back every single time. Every single thing she went through, I'm used to her bouncing right back. That's just it. That's all. So in my mind, yeah, I saw how weak she was, again, because given the situation, she is elderly. You know, she wasn't eating much or whatever the case may be. But I'm used to, like I said, her just trucking through whatever she ever been through. She trucked through. Even when we was in the hospital, and we was joking around with her, and saying, you know, girl, get home so you can get you some Thanksgiving food, because she's like, you know, I've been through a lot. She said, I've been through a lot. And I said, yeah, and God got you through every single part of it. Single thing you went through, God got you through it, because you are a strong woman, and I wish to have your strength now, not even when I get your age. I want to have your strength now, because again, this lady is strong, y'all. She's strong. But she's just like, I can't wait to, no, she said, yeah, because when I go home, she's like, I'm going to eat all day long, because she's like, I'm hungry, like, I'm going to eat all, she's like, I'm going to eat all day, like that. So, again, you know, we used to my grandma, you know, like I said, she have her periods where she's down, and she's seemingly, you know, just down, you know, and then, like I said, she bounces right back, because one thing about it, my grandma loves her family. Like, she thrived off her family, especially her grandkids and great grandkids. The little ones and all, they just brought her so much joy and so much life, you know. And so she is definitely going to be missed. she's truly going to be missed. Like, it took me a minute because, of course, with everything happening, we were down in New York all last week. We have, obviously, we still, well, it wouldn't be obvious to some, but we chose to still go ahead and make the Thanksgiving and do Thanksgiving because we feel like that's what she would have wanted. And we made it through Thanksgiving, you guys. We did. We had a pretty good time. But that initial day on Tuesday when I got there, she was still home in her bed, looking like a peaceful sleeping angel. And no, the coroners hadn't gotten there yet. I'll talk about that in another video. But the coroners, it was just this big mix-up with the EMS not reporting that she had passed to who they were supposed to report it to, so that the ball could get rolling between the police and the coroner and all that. So they didn't come and pick my granny's body up from her home until 10:30 at night. I look at that as a bittersweet situation, because at least I got to spend, as you know, my last times with her and just in peace with her in her room, and just sit there and you know, have her with me for the last time. I said I was going to be strong on this camera, and I am. But you guys have no idea. And some of you may, because some of you may have been very close with, or may be very close with your grandparents if you're still, you know, lucky enough to have them here. But nobody could ever replace my grandmother. The bond her and I had, and she loved all of her grandkids, and like I said, her great-grands. She loved us all the same, but it was a different bond her and I had since I was a child, since I was a baby. So, and you guys, you know, got a little bit of a glimpse of that. I didn't show her much on my camera, but you guys got a little bit of a glimpse of how her and I's relationship was. That was my girl, my best girl, best friend. My grandma knew about every single hair on my head. Okay, it's just never gonna be the same for me. Like, my grandmother is my reason for so many things in my life. And though I know, like I said, we all have to go one day, I just wasn't ready. And I do feel like it's selfish, because sometimes, because she's been here for 87 years. And while to me, I felt like she could go another 20 years, her body, obviously, her heart said otherwise. And yes, guys, they did rule her death as a natural cause. Natural causes. It says she went into cardiac arrest. Pretty much, she had a heart attack. So, and they ruled it as natural causes. So, it's hard. It's, you know, I've been getting through it as long as I'm around my family. You know, like when I was down in Brooklyn, you know, everybody, you know, they kept it alive. You know, we kept it going. We kept, you know, going like, you know, we normally would. But when I got back home, you know, it's really when it set in for me that I don't have my granny anymore. Okay, I thought I could talk about it, you guys, and not, you know, get emotional on camera, but like I was saying, it's sudden that I don't have my granny anymore. I won't be able to hear her voice anymore. I won't be able to call her up and, you know, make fun of her anymore like she does me. She used to always call me Big Mama, and I used to be like, girl, don't call me that, because I'm slim and trim. Okay, don't call me Big Mama. And she just got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of calling her Lou Jean, even though that wasn't her name. But I changed her name to Lou Jean because I told her that fits you better, girl. She used to say, my mama ain't named me no Lou Jean. but it stuck with her. Like, it stuck with her, and she just loved it. Like I said, like, it's just like I said, her and I just had a bond that was unfreaking breakable, and that nobody else would ever imagine or understand, you know. And again, this is a bond since I was a child. Like, every time I was around my Grammy, I reverted back to that little girl. That's how she always made me feel. You guys, I still slept with my granny at 45 years old every single time. Like, I just, and to sleep in her bed this past weekend, and her not be in it with me, it was very hard. But I got a lot of her things, you know. I even got some of her bedding that still has her scent on it. You know, it's the scent that she had in her home. And just like, actually, this pajama set is hers. The slippers on my feet are hers. You know, my granny was such a strong woman, such a strong woman. So very strong. And just to like I said, the selfish part of me just wanted her to be here forever. Like, I feel like grandparents should be able to live forever. I just do. Grandparents and kids, you know. I just feel like but I know she's going to be in forevermore my angel. She was my angel while she was here on earth, but she's going to be my angel now in heaven and watching over myself and the rest of us. And, you know, we have so many good memories with her, you know, to look back on, to talk about, to, you know, reminisce on and stuff like that. So, yeah, but this one hurts, y'all. This one really hurts. And we typically, my immediate family at least, we typically don't experience death often at all. Like, you know, our last unexpected death was my cousin, and he's only 31, and that was a devastating blow too, because we are a very close-knit family, and that came out of nowhere too. And it was just, he just didn't wake up one day, you know, like that was just it, you know. His friend came to knock on it. His friend was hanging out. They were hanging out at the house, you know, doing their music and stuff, because he did beats and music and stuff like that. And no, he wasn't on drugs, and no, he didn't commit suicide. It's just that something internally just didn't turn back on, and his friend came back the next day to, you know, continue what they was doing the day before, and he's knocking on the door, and he wasn't getting no answer. And then they went and got the management to come to his apartment so they could check on him and open up, and he was still sitting in his same spot and deceased. That was about 6 years ago, but even before that, we don't experience death in the immediate side of the family too often at all. It's very far and few in between, unless they are elders, you know. But I'm sorry, I'm losing my lash. But so yeah, this one really hurts. This is right now I have a big hole in my heart, really big hole in my heart, and I know over time it will heal. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and let you guys know where I've been and why I haven't been posting, and that my granny is gone, and she would be dearly and truly and forever in my heart and missed, and just hurts so bad, you guys. Hurts so bad. Her funeral services is this Saturday, on the 7th, December 7th. We have a lot of family coming in from out of town, because like I said, my granny was loved, y'all. She was loved, all her and all her sisters. She was the only, out of, child, I can't even count how many sisters, but it was only two of my great aunt, one of my great aunts that are left, and then my granny. So it was just her and her younger sister left. And yeah, so I still have one great aunt left now. My granny is gone, but like I was saying, my granny is so loved, not just by family, by friends, even people in her community and her building are asking, when is the funeral, because they want to come and pay their respects. Like everybody she came in contact with fell in love with her. I'm talking about people that's exes and her kids, some of their exes from back when they was younger. To this day, they still consider my grandma mommy or ma. To this day, they were still in her life. I'm telling you, like, my grandma loved everybody and everybody loved her. So this hit us all heavy. So yeah, we're doing the services on this Saturday because we want to give everybody who can attend the funeral, a chance to come in from out of town, from different areas and stuff like that. So they'll be here this weekend, and yeah, we're gonna celebrate my granny. Yeah. And it's crazy because my cousin's party is Friday, so I was gonna be back in Brooklyn anyway for Friday before this happened, this coming Friday, because her birthday, her 40th. Yeah, I know Quinna. Quinna's 40th birthday party is set for Friday, a birthday event. It's not necessarily a party, but it's an event. So we're still going to celebrate her too. We're still going to celebrate her too. My grandmother would not want any of this to stop because she, like I said, she loved her family. She loved when we got together and we did fun things and partied and celebrated holidays or whatever, just regular weekends, dinners. Y'all saw how it is when we at my grandma's house. So we're going to still celebrate Quinna's 40th on Friday. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know what all happened and what all, I've been going through these past few days. And I thank you so much for your understanding and your support. I will be back on track with the videos. I just got to get through this funeral, you guys. And I don't do funerals. I do not do funerals. I don't like going to funerals. And I don't go. I don't even, to be honest, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, I don't even want to go see my granny like that. And I don't. Like, my last image of her, I would rather it be how I came and saw her on Tuesday laying in her bed just as she was like asleep in peaceful beauty, But to see her laying up in a casket, and I'm definitely not going to the burial because I would not be able to handle watching my granny go down in the grave. So I'm not going to attend the burial part, but we are obviously having a repast. So I'll be there for that, but that's it. And I'm going to try, like I said, I just got to get through this funeral. Basically, I just got to get through this weekend, you guys. And I will be back on track. I'm going to try and get some footage and film for Quinna's event. It's just... yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you so much for understanding and your support. And I know some of you will be sending prayers and condolences, so I'm going to thank you in advance for that. I really, really, really appreciate it. But yeah, you guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.